I don't wanna get up, just not feeling it today. It's too cozy in this bed. Who needs a job anyway? I don't wanna go out. Being human's too hard. Sometimes I think my brain takes this responsibility a little too far. Gotta tell you, it's killing my groove. I gotta tell you, it's killing my groove. I just wanna stay in my house all day, wearing my undies and my alpaca socks. I'm overdue for some fun dance party of one. I got that self-care game on lock. I just wanna stay in my house all day, doing whatever it is that I please. I spend the hours in bliss, just me, myself, and this. Getting busy, loving up on me. Gonna turn off my phone. Too many people messing with my head. They can't find me at home, cause there's no landlines. And if they come knocking, baby, I'll play dead. I gotta tell you, it's killing my groove. I just wanna stay in my house all day, wearing my undies and my alpaca socks. I'm overdue for some fun dance party of one. I got that self-care game on lock. Yeah, I just wanna stay in my house all day, doing whatever it is that I please. I spend the hours in bliss, just be myself, and this. Getting busy, loving up on me. I gotta tell you, it's killing my groove. I gotta tell you, I just wanna stay in my house all day, wearing my undies and my alpaca socks.
Oh, they're so warm.
I'm overdue for some fun dance party of one. I got that self-care game on lock. Oh, I just wanna stay in my house all day, doing whatever it is that I please. I spend the hours in bliss, just me, myself, and this. Getting busy, loving up on me. Getting busy, loving up on me. Getting busy, love.
fabulous Sunday morning. It is so good to see all of y'all this morning, whether I'm seeing you with my physical eyes here in the room or I'm seeing you with my third eye on the camera. It is so good to see y'all. How are y'all doing? Put in the chat how life is, what you're up to, how this week was for you. How was this week for y'all? Good. I heard it good. Good. Lots of goods. That's good. Oh, and if you are online this morning, I invite you to just go ahead and hit that share button. Did you know that you can go to Celebration Center with your friends and family, even if they don't live nearby, and you don't even have to put on real pants to do it? You can do it in your pajamas by just clicking share and inviting your friends and family to join you this morning. If you are joining us for the very first time, an extra special welcome to you. We would love to get to know you better, and we can do that in a couple of different ways. If you are joining us online and it is your first time, I invite you to fill out one of these guest cards. You can do that by scanning this QR code that's right here or going to bit.ly/CCSL guest. That card is completely confidential. I'm the only one that sees it, and I will just reach out to you and see how you're doing. And if you are here in the room and you are here for the very first time, we invite you to fill out a guest card on the table. Or if you're tech savvy, feel free to scan that QR code as well. That QR code is for all people. We do not discriminate here between online and in person. We have a really great service planned for y'all today. We have our beloved music director in the house, Lynn Hollyfield. Let's give her a round of applause. We have Irina Kurasiewicz as our practitioner on platform. Woohoo! Did y'all know, I like to mention this just every now and again, did y'all know that Irina has been translating the Ukrainian prayer, meditation prayer time every day for a year and a half? She has been on that call translating between Russian and English so that people from all over the world can pray for peace for Ukraine with the Ukrainian practitioners. So we are so grateful. And then people will just talk about her in like minister calls that I'm on in meetings. They'll be like, there's this woman, Irina. And I'm like, she's mine. She goes to the Celebration Center. And it's very exciting. So we are extra blessed to have Irina in the house this morning. And I am going to be speaking. Now, the title of my talk is Balancing Grief and Joy, but you might notice that I'm not talking about that really at all. But we are going to be talking about embracing self-care this morning and some emotions and allowing ourselves to feel all of those things. So it's going to be this kind of holistic view on embracing self-care. So I'm looking forward to that as well. If you would like to have our ministry of prayer, our ministers and practitioners pray with you, then we would love for you to fill out a prayer request card. You can do that in a couple of different ways as well. Once again, if you are here in the room, over on the table, we have those green prayer request cards that you are welcome to fill out. And if you are online or tech savvy in the room, you are welcome to scan this QR code, or you can simply go to our website, celebrationcenter.org, and click on Request Affirmative Prayer. In fact, celebrationcenter.org is going to be your one-stop hub for pretty much anything that you would like to do. Prayer requests, giving, finding out what's going on at the center, seeing our upcoming events, all of that can be done at our website. And, finally, today at 12:30, our hybrid community time is going to be just an open community discussion. We might talk about science of minds. We might talk about our favorite animals. who knows what will come up at this time, but it's just a time for us to get together, to be in community, and to celebrate our friendships and our beloved community here. Now then, beginning next month, our hybrid community time is going to be changing a little bit. We're still looking at what that format is going to be. But we're probably not going to have the after service event as often. We are still going to be doing the sing along because y'all love that. And then we're thinking about maybe doing like a Friday night online game night as well, where we can kind of come together and chat and play games and things like that. So hold on to your seats. We'll be giving you all of the information as we get it together and unroll it. But for today, plan on coming either here in person. You can run downstairs, grab a sandwich, come back up, or online, celebrationcenter.org. And you're going to click on that Enter Zoom events at 12:30 so that we can all come together and talk and be together. And with all of that, I invite Lynn up for an opening song.
Everyone. Everyone's feeling good, so we're going to sing this song. So I hope you join me in singing this. Here we go. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly in the sun, you know how I feel. Butterflies having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, that's how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Well, if I were here the first time, I would be already ready to go home. Because I'm already spiritually fed. But wait, we have more, right, Reverend Kris? And we will have more of Lynn's beautiful music. Well, good morning again. My name is Irina Kurasiewicz, and I'm a practitioner here at the Celebration Center. And let's start from the reading our vision. Yeah, I'm taken away by this song. Sorry. Okay, so we are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And with this, I just invite you to take this vision within and breathe it in and feel it. Even in the vision, we know that it starts from us. And I invite you to do some self-care. Feel the support of your chair and the floor beneath your feet, or wherever, if you're at home or somewhere else. Feel the support. And let's take 3 breaths with holding it in the middle. So breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And just feel how your heart, your lungs, your mind may be expanded a little bit, maybe a lot. And just open to receive. Open to receive more music, more wisdom, more joy. And I would like to start my prayer with the words by a practitioner, Eugene Holden. He says, caring for the self. Caring for the self is a priority we want to take seriously. This self includes our physical, mental, and spiritual bodies. Not one is more important than the others. Take time to listen to what yourself is asking for. Self-love. Self-care is self-love. Love yourself enough to do the things that keep you healthy in body, mind, and spirit. This includes, among other things, the act of forgiveness. Love yourself enough to release the past hurts and resentments. Be love. Be the love you are to be. Today is the day to love at a deeper level. Ask yourself, how may I love today? Listen for the answer, then do it. You will be glad you did. The representative. Understand that you are a representative of the divine simply because the divine represents itself as you. You are the way the divine shows up in the world. Represent the divine today as love, peace, power, poise, and grace. And I know that God is, and God is love, peace, poise, grace, harmony, wholeness, abundance, prosperity. And God is all there is. It is the essence of life. It is life itself. And as it is all there is, I know that I am all that God is. And as I recognize my oneness with the divine, I recognize the oneness of all in the divine, with the divine. Each and everyone here who hears my voice right now is a perfect and unique expression of the divine, magnificent, a miracle of God, the miracle of the universe. Each and everyone. And I know it for all of us as a humanity, and I know it for everyone as an individual. And for that, I know that all the prayer requests are already open and answered. I recognize peace in the world. I recognize peace in Ukraine, and all over the world there are more places where peace is revealing itself right now. I recognize love. I recognize abundance where is hunger. I recognize harmony where is an argument. I recognize bliss, the beauty. I recognize joy. And I recognize wholeness. I recognize pure and radiant health, who is under the weather right now, or may be experiencing much more serious conditions. I know health, pure and radiant health, perfect for our dear Reverend Ryan, and for all other members or people I don't know who are not well today, who are not feeling well today. And I know perfect relationship, perfect employment, where everyone is happy to express their divine self-care and shine. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to speak my words and to believe into my words. I'm very grateful for my faith. And I simply release it into the law, knowing that it is already done in the perfect mind of God. And I am grateful, and I let it be. And so it is. И так оно и есть.
I'm going to do an original song that follows nicely with Irina's prayer, that, we have people who remind us that at times that we're still shining inside. This is called Cul-de-sac. Give away your best without regret or reservation. But then what do you have left? Just self-preservation. Food has lost its flavor, life its savor. Here's a revelation. Here's a revelation. Off the edge of the world, and your heart still shouts for more like a hungry little girl, and your soul reaches up to the moon like a pearl in a shell. Time will tell. Wanna hide away now, that's a joke, that's your story. But hope startles you awake, now that's the glory. And soon your bones ache to love, they ache to live. And here's a revelation. Here's a revelation. When the sun dives off the edge of the world, and your heart still shouts for more like a hungry little girl, and your soul reaches up to the moon like a pearl in a shell. Time will tell. thought the struggle's done and all the wanting. You think if you hold real still and you keep the windows closed. But I can hear you breathing, I can see you shining, I can see you in your eyes. I can see you in your eyes. When the sun dies off the edge of the world and your heart still shouts for more like a hungry little girl, and your soul reaches up to the moon like a pearl in a shell. Time will tell. Time will tell. To reveal the pearl.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lynn. So, self-care. How many people, and you can put it in the chat if you're watching online, how many of you feel like I have this self-care thing nailed? I do it so good all the time. Anyone? Y'all laughed at me? Really? Ed does. Ed, you're about the only person I think that could raise their hand that I would believe. Ed goes every day to the National Memorial and prays and counts ducks and he takes care of himself in a lot of really wonderful ways. But for the majority of us who are not enlightened, it might take a little bit more work, right? And so today, last week I talked about the origin of self-care, which I thought was really interesting. I did not realize how much of self-care and community care was all tied together. But this week, I want us to get really clear on what self-care actually is and a little bit of what it is not. So self-care, when I asked last week, what does self-care mean to you? The majority of y'all, there were a couple of bubble baths and massages, but actually the majority of y'all here at Celebration Center said things like prayer, meditation, spending time in nature, doing my spiritual practice. Now, I don't know if y'all were just saying that because you felt like it was the right answers in your spiritual community to have spiritual answers. But yes, absolutely. Spiritual self-care, I would say it's a tip-top priority for me, that's for sure. And it sounds like that is true for a lot of us here as well. And so I've talked to y'all before. I am a licentiate minister. I will be ordained next year if all goes according to plan. And as a licentiate minister, I have to have a sponsor minister. And no offense to all those other licentiate ministers out there, but I have the best sponsor minister. She is amazing. And she is huge on doing your spiritual practice. And what I love, we actually had an extensive conversation about this the last time that we met, but what I love about what she said is that we have this belief or this idea that if we don't sit down and do it this exact certain right way that we've been taught for the exact certain right amount of time, that we're not doing our spiritual self-care. And she went on to talk about how so much of just that it can be incorporated in tiny little ways into our lives. and how it can be that moment that we stop and smell the roses, or that moment that we talk to a loved one that has passed, or that we have that name for the personal aspect of God that we relate to, and that we have that conversation. Or it can be the 5 minutes of journaling at the end of the day, or telling our loved one gratitudes over dinner, or my latest form of meditation has been, if you were around last year, do y'all remember the squirrels? So we are obsessed with squirrels at our house, Rev Ryan and I, and we feed the squirrels, and we have named the squirrels, and we feed the squirrels, and now they come and like knock on the glass door to get more food. When we don't have enough food out there, they'll come and they'll like peer in and and they say their little squirrely things to the cat, and she yells at them, and it's a whole thing, right? So my latest form of meditation has been laying on our front porch like a crazy person. We live in a condo, so there are lots of people around, and holding peanuts out in my hands like this, very, very, very still, so that they will come eat peanuts out of my hands. No cigar yet. They will take them out of our hands when we're inside and we just open the door a little, but when we're fully outside, no cigar yet. But that is my latest form of meditation. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be, you sit in silence in lotus pose for 36 and a half minutes. And if you do it for any less, you're not spiritual enough, right? It can be all of these different things. And so what I have found really joyful and fun is, instead of beating myself up for the spiritual practice I'm not doing, instead looking at all of the tiny ways that spiritual practice is just naturally incorporated into my everyday life. And then when you're doing that self-assessment, if you discover that maybe there's not as much spiritual self-care there as you would like, instead of beating yourself up and telling yourself, okay, well now, I already get up at 5 a.m. to feed the kids and walk the dog and clean the cat litter box and go to work and do all those things. But now I need to get up at 4 a.m. so that I can sit for a whole hour and do my meditative practice, knowing good and darn well that that's going to last maybe a week. And that's if you are a way stronger person than I am, because I'm not sure I would even last one day doing that. Then instead of making yourself wrong or making it hard, you can incorporate that spiritual practice into the little things you do. Like every time you use the restroom at work, you stop and you say some affirmations in the mirror, or you take a moment to make sure that you're taking your 2 15-minute breaks, and you take a walk outside around your building and notice nature and notice what's going on. If you live somewhere that you have seasons, we do here have seasons, right? Notice what's new and different every day in nature and see what you can see. That is just as much spiritual self-care as anything else. So that's spiritual self-care. And I don't think they have a hierarchy necessarily, but what I have found for myself is that my life is going much better when I am doing my spiritual practice, when I am taking care of myself spiritually. And I can get away with avoiding mental health care a little bit, and emotional health care, maybe some physical health care, but man, my life goes just straight down the tubes the second that I let go of my spiritual self-care. And so I invite, maybe that's not true for you. Maybe you can go a while and life will hum along, but if you let go of your physical self-care, your whole life tanks, or maybe you let go of your mental health care and your whole life tanks. It's not about it being a one size fits all, but rather about discovering for yourself what self-care looks like and what is most important to you. So let's go on to emotional self-care. What is emotional self-care? Does anybody have any ideas here or online? Boundaries. Yes, ma'am, Stephanie. Boundaries. What else? Allow yourself to be you. Authenticity. I would agree that that is emotional self-care. Yes. Anything else? I'm noticing, I have to admit that when I was writing this up, I was like, I tout this all the time, and I was like, I don't know how to define it. I had to go look up examples of emotional self-care. It does get a little bit harder, but yes, boundaries, being authentically yourself. Also, things that are emotional self-care are allowing ourselves to feel all of our emotions, not making ourselves wrong for feeling sorrow or grief or anger or, furiousness or frustration or annoyance or all of those things that we have deemed as bad, but instead understanding that as humans, we are going to feel the full range of emotions and allowing ourselves to feel those. And then taking it one step further, I would say that emotional self-care is really finding healthy outlets to move those emotions through our body. It's not the anger, the frustration, or the annoyance, or the grief that is bad. It is maybe not as good for us when we just try to stuff it all down and keep stuffing and keep stuffing and keep stuffing. That is when it begins to cause problems out into our life and other areas in our physical bodies and our relationships and things like that. So there is no emotion that is a bad emotion. There are healthy and unhealthy ways of expressing our emotions, but all emotions are good emotions, right? And so we get to find ways to have healthy outlets for our emotions. I have to admit that I love that one of the newest, latest, greatest crazes is axe throwing. I think that's fantastic. I think that, we spend time in traffic. We spend time with coworkers maybe we don't like very much. Not me. I love my coworkers here at Celebration Center. Don't worry. But, we have run-ins with family, and we have tiffs with friends, and people make us mad and annoy us. Absolutely. Let's go throw axes at targets. Fantastic, healthy outlet to move that emotion through our bodies, because if we don't allow it to move through our bodies, it's going to get stuck and it's going to cause problems down the road. I also want to throw out there that emotional self-care is not shoulding on ourselves. That's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not should upon thyself. The 11th commandment. And don't we do that so much? I should be doing this. I shouldn't have done that. I should, right? And yet every time we do that, what we're doing is we're negating who we actually are. And we're not allowing ourselves to see the gifts and the values that we actually do bring, and instead expecting ourselves to always be something that we're not. And so emotional self-care is letting go of those shoulds and allowing ourselves to actually be who we are, not who we think we should be. Now then, what about mental self-care? What is incorporated in mental self-care? Oh man, y'all. I did have to look this one up. And what was interesting for me was I have been very vocal about my own struggles with anxiety and depression. And if you were around last June, I talked about how I take an antidepressant. I take Lexapro because it doesn't matter how much I meditate or pray, my body is not going to it actually makes plenty of serotonin. It is not going to properly utilize the serotonin that it makes to support my mental health. So for me, mental health or mental self-care is taking my medication and to make sure that I support myself by going to my doctor for my checkups and to really pay attention to my mental well-being and notice the ebbs and flows and notice if something is getting out of whack before I tank, right? So for me, that is mental self-care. Now, I understand that some people's brains just work. It's a novel idea for me, and that is not mental self-care for others. So for other people, and these are mental self-care for me as well. However, take whatever works for you, right? Taking breaks. Allowing your brain to rest. It is doing the things that you love and bring you joy just for the sake of doing them, not to make money or to be productive or anything like that, but just doing things that bring you joy just because they bring you joy, because you are worth feeling joy. Just you right as you are right now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to earn it. None of that. You can just do things that bring you joy for the sake of yourself. That is mental self-care. Things like reading or playing games like Wordle or Sudoku or crosswords or whatever it may be for you. All of those things to show up creatively in your life, to express your own, to express your authenticity, to express your creativity. And if you are someone who struggles with mental health, taking your medication, going to the doctor, and this is one for everyone could benefit from a little bit of therapy. And I see some smiles because that's one of my taglines. When y'all write a book of Krisisms, I hope you put that one in there. Everyone could benefit from therapy. Going to therapy, seeing a spiritual practitioner, working with somebody to hear from a third-party perspective what's going on, all of that is mental self-care. And then, I think this is the one that we think about the most. Well, maybe not here at Celebration Center where we're all very spiritual and we all think about spiritual stuff first. But in general, physical self-care, I think, is the one that is primarily talked about and pushed in our society. So physical self-care, it's things like bubble baths and massages. It is, but it's also finding out what suits your body, what is nutritious to your body, and then eating those things, putting things into your body, and that includes media, it includes social media, it includes the foods that you eat, the air that you inhale, the drinks that you drink, everything the stuff that you put on your skin, your soaps, your lotions. Find what works for you and then do those things. And for some people, some things are going to work, and for other people's, other things are going to work. So this is a very individual practice of finding out what is healthy for your body and then choosing to put those things into it. Also, staying hydrated. I think most of us can agree that water is good for most people's bodies. So making sure that you're drinking plenty of water. My kidney stone reminded me that in a very painful way. So I am reminding you in a less painful way so you can drink plenty of water and not have a kidney stone like I did. to move your body in a way that feels good. And once again, that is going to be different for everyone, and you don't have to make yourself right or wrong for the movement that you do. Maybe movement for you is walking down to your backyard and feeding the ducks. Maybe movement for you is running, what was it, 100 billion K run that you did. Walk, a 24-hour walk. That's what it was, wasn't it? 12-hour. I don't know. Either way, it sounded crazy to me because it's not what would feel good in my body, right? But I know we have people here who run marathons, and that is what feels good to them in moving their body. Maybe it is taking walks with friends, going swimming, going hiking. Maybe it's doing chair yoga, or maybe it's just enough for you to walk and move around your house and keep your space in your home the way that you like it. Finding the way that moves your body, maybe it's dancing, that feels good, and then doing that. And then getting enough sleep. And I would say that the majority of us do not get enough sleep. And I know for myself, I generally don't. And then every once in a while, my body is like, you are going to sleep. And in fact, this past week, I was so tired that I was like, I gotta lay down. I can't, I am completely unproductive. This is not working. I'm just going to lay down for a few minutes. Y'all, I woke up 5 hours later. And then I had a whole conversation with Ryan about how I wasn't going to sleep at all that night. Nope. Back to sleep at 9. No problem. So obviously my body was craving that extra sleep. Maybe it was fighting something off. Maybe it was just sick of me not sleeping enough. Who knows what it was? But allowing yourself, listening to your body and doing what it's asking of you. So, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. Of those 4, which one do you feel like you're the best at? And you can answer out loud, you can put it in the chat, or you can just think about it.
All of the above.
All of the above. From our enlightened Ed, we have all of the above. Oh, what about for folks that maybe self-care isn't necessarily in their tip-top shape? It is. It is. That is a very good point, Irina. It is important to have balance. And so by just noticing which one you're really good at, then what you can do is you can say, what makes me good at that one? And you can implement it in those other areas. And the reality is that life happens, and sometimes they're going to get a little out of whack. Balance might not look like a perfectly quartered pie chart. Sometimes we might be doing a lot of spiritual self-care and our physical is a little, less, or some other combination. But in general, yes, what we're going for is a healthy balance of all of these different self-cares. Yes? Yes.
One person might say, well, this is my mental self-care. And I might think, well, I thought that was emotional or physical self-care or
Yes.
like that, like rest might be spiritual.
Absolutely.
Or physical. So I have a problem categorizing.
Well, no, that's a great point. So what Stephanie said is that a lot of these activities don't neatly fit into boxes. And for some people, she was saying sleep was a physical self-care for me, but maybe sometimes it's a spiritual self-care, or it's an emotional self-care or mental self-care. I am a big fan of have you tried turning it off and back on again when my brain isn't working, and I will take a nap because that's my mental health care. I'm very pro nap, y'all. Go home, take a nap this afternoon. They're great. Yes, I know that about you, Stephanie. We are pro nap. So yes, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it, right? A walk in nature might tick off emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual self-care. Or a walk in the city. Oh, yes, from Irina, our beloved Russian who loves the city and the noise and the bustle and the busyness. A walk in the city is emotional, physical, mental, spiritual self-care, right? And so allowing ourselves, yes, that balance also means, is there something I could do right now that would boost these 2 or 3 or all 4 aspects of self-care? Absolutely. Thank you, Stephanie. So I want to end with 2 things. The first thing is I want to come back to boundaries because I kind of glossed over those a little bit when you said them, Stephanie, because personally, yes, boundaries are emotional self-care, but really, much like you were just saying, I feel like boundaries are just overall self-care. We can have physical boundaries, we can have emotional boundaries, we can have mental boundaries, we can have spiritual boundaries, right? And boundaries are so important. I had a friend, Christine Anderson. I know I've talked about her before here. And she said it's either a hell yes or a holy no. And I love that because if you can't say no, your yeses mean nothing. So, in honor of Pride Month, because it is still Pride Month, and in fact, yesterday was DC Pride, and we did not go because self-care for Rev Ryan and I is not going to where there are 5 gazillion people and trying to manage that. But we have friends that are very big into Pride, and so we got lots of Snapchats of all of the videos and things that they were doing yesterday. But in honor of Pride, I have a TikTok for y'all from Plant Queen, who is a Black, queer, non-binary plant lover and they are going to talk about boundary or saying no. So let's watch.
Darling, a reminder to never, ever, ever, ever feel guilty about using this simple word. No. Girl, I know this party happening tonight. We should. No. We can't compensate you for your time or expertise, but no. Hey, can you work late tonight? No. Oh my God, I love your hair. Can I touch? Hell no. Oh, it would be great if you could. Can we? Are you available for a quick? Well, nut to the nut, no. Now, darling, she can be a yes queen if the situation calls for it. But if it is not speaking to, lifting up, elevating her spirit, honey, it is going to be no. Period. End sentence.
So, this week, that is what I want you to remember. Anytime that something is coming into your frame of reference and you have to decide if it's a hell yes or a holy no, if it is not a hell yes, that is what I want you to remember. I want you to remember Plant Queen telling you that it is okay to say no. It is okay to set those boundaries, to be clear in yourself, and to trust that if it's a no from you, it will be a yes from somebody else if it needs to get done. That is the reality of it. So, let's all practice together. So if you're at home or watching or driving or whatever you're doing, on the count of 3, we're all going to say no. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. No. All right, let's do it one more time because I feel like y'all can do it better. I want to hear you from home, okay? 1, 2, 3. I feel like we have a choir going. Lynn, you might want to get a choir going, or you might want to tell me no. Oh, thank you so much. And that is our prayer today. No, that's it. No is a complete sentence, and it is a holy prayer. And with that, I would like to invite Lynn up for another song.
All right. Okay, I'm going to share this beautiful song by Carole King called Beautiful. So if you're familiar with it, sing with me, please. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. And people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with the workday wind blowing, got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I can see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not, oh, but we can try. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. And people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful as you feel.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. So this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings, and knowing that this community continues to be a blessing out into the larger community in the world through your generosity, through your time, your talent, and your treasures. And so if you have a gift for us this morning, we would love to accept that in several different ways. You can scan the QR code if you are tech savvy. You can also go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the Give button. Both of those will take you to our Secure Breeze website where you can donate or set up reoccurring payments. You can also go to our website and get our address and mail in any form of offering that you have. Or if you are here in the room, of course, we have our basket over on the table for you. And now I would like to invite Irina up for an affirmation and a blessing.
Yeah, I love to start with affirmation. So take a deep breath and please read with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And knowing that God is abundance and prosperity, I know the generosity and abundance of all who committed to the Celebration Center, who give their talent, their time, and their finances. And I know that the law of circulation never stops, and it all the blessings of the universe come back multiplied abundantly to each and every of us. And I know that it is a part of self-care to invest in the places where we receive the nourishment, the spiritual nourishment, the mental nourishment, maybe the physical nourishment as well, and the creative nourishment. And I know that the Celebration Center is the place for it. And I just simply, in deep gratitude, let it be. And this is so. And so it is.
Hey, please join me in our closing song. We're going to do I Love Myself the Way I Am by Jai Josephson. If you feel like standing, please do. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best that I can. I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So fill the world with peace on earth that only love can bring. I'll help it grow by loving everything. We love ourselves the way we are, but still we want to grow. The change outside can only come when deep inside we know we're beautiful and capable of being the best that we can. So let's love ourselves the best way that we can. So let's love ourselves the best way that we can.
All right. Yes. And you can stay standing if you would like. So as a reminder, at 12:30, we're doing a community conversation. If you're here in the room, we do have coffee in the kitchen, or go grab a sandwich. And if you are online, grab yourself something to eat and join us at 12:30 by going to celebrationcenter.org and clicking on Enter Zoom Events. And now I invite y'all to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening in me right now. I honor my own needs and desires. I allow myself to experience pleasure every day. I practice radical self-care and community care. I am spirit in action. And so it is.